Leading our collection is Signalis, a masterfully crafted survival horror experience that blends retro aesthetics with modern psychological terror. This game draws heavy inspiration from classic survival horror titles, while establishing its own unique identity through a haunting sci-fi narrative set on a remote mining facility. You play as Elster, a technician replica searching for her lost partner in a nightmarish world filled with corrupted androids and cosmic horror elements. The fixed camera angles and limited resources create constant tension as you navigate claustrophobic corridors and solve intricate puzzles. The pixel art style is deceptively beautiful, hiding grotesque body horror and disturbing imagery that will stay with you long after playing. Combat is deliberately clunky and ammunition scarce, forcing you to choose between fighting or fleeing from the relentless enemies. The story unfolds through environmental storytelling, cryptic notes, and surreal sequences that challenge your perception of reality. The atmosphere is oppressively dark, with excellent sound design that makes every creak and distant scream unsettling.
At number 2, we have Still Wakes the Deep, a narrative-driven horror game set on a deteriorating oil rig in the North Sea during the 1970s. This Scottish-developed gem places you in the role of an offshore worker who must survive when something ancient and hostile awakens beneath the platform. The game excels at creating claustrophobic dread as you navigate the labyrinthine industrial complex, while a supernatural threat transforms the rig and your crew into nightmarish abominations. There is no combat system, making every encounter a tense exercise in stealth and evasion as you crawl through vents, hide in lockers, and time your movements carefully. The voice acting is exceptional, with authentic Scottish accents that ground the horror in believable human reactions to impossible situations. Environmental hazards add another layer of danger, as fires, floods, and structural collapses threaten your survival alongside the creature. The graphics are stunning, with realistic weather effects and detailed industrial environments that feel genuinely lived in. The pacing is excellent, building tension steadily while providing brief moments of respite before plunging you back into terror.
Moving to third place is Amnesia The Bunker, a fresh take on the legendary horror franchise that introduces more player agency and dynamic scares. Set in a World War I bunker, you play as a French soldier trapped underground with a monstrous creature hunting you through the dark corridors. Unlike previous Amnesia games, this entry features a semi-open world structure where you can tackle objectives in various orders while managing extremely limited resources. The central mechanic revolves around a generator that powers the bunker lights, creating agonizing decisions about when to venture into darkness to conserve fuel versus staying in lit areas where the creature can see you. Every playthrough feels different because the monster uses dynamic AI that responds to noise, follows your footsteps, and adapts to your strategies, rather than following scripted patrol routes. The crafting system lets you create tools and weapons, though ammunition is so scarce that direct combat remains a desperate last resort. Time pressure comes from the constantly depleting generator fuel, preventing you from hiding indefinitely. The World War I setting is brilliantly realized, with authentic period details and the lingering horror of trench warfare adding context to the supernatural terror.
Coming in at number 4 is Dredge, a unique fishing horror game that combines peaceful maritime exploration with creeping cosmic dread. You captain a small fishing boat around mysterious archipelagos, catching fish during the day to sell and upgrade your vessel, while darker things emerge when night falls. The gameplay loop is surprisingly addictive as you navigate between islands, deploy different fishing equipment for various species, and manage your limited cargo space. The horror elements build slowly, starting with strange catches and unsettling encounters before escalating into full eldritch terror. The day-night cycle creates natural tension as you balance the risk of staying out after dark for rare catches against the sanity-draining entities that appear in the fog. Your character experiences panic that affects controls and perception when exposed to supernatural phenomena for too long. The art style uses a charming low-poly aesthetic that makes the disturbing imagery even more unsettling through contrast. Quests from island inhabitants gradually reveal the dark history of the region and your own mysterious past. The progression system is satisfying, as upgrades meaningfully improve your capabilities while opening access to more dangerous areas.
At number 5, we find Returnal, a roguelike third-person shooter that blends bullet hell action with psychological horror elements. While more action-focused than traditional horror games, the atmosphere and narrative create genuine dread as you play astronaut Celine trapped in a time loop on a hostile alien planet. Each death resets your progress, but advances the haunting story through environmental clues and disturbing visions of a mysterious house. The alien world of Atropos is beautifully nightmarish, with bioluminescent forests, ancient ruins, and organic architecture that feels genuinely otherworldly. Combat is intense and skill-based, with pattern recognition crucial for dodging the spectacular bullet patterns enemies create. The procedural generation ensures each run feels different, while maintaining carefully designed challenge progression. What elevates this into horror territory is the psychological breakdown Celine experiences, manifested through audio logs, hallucinations, and the recurring house sequences that reveal traumatic memories. The sound design is exceptional, with 3D audio that makes the alien environment feel alive and threatening. Boss encounters are spectacular set pieces that test your mastery of the combat systems. The story is deliberately obtuse and requires multiple playthroughs to piece together, rewarding patient players with one of the most thought-provoking narratives in recent gaming.
Sliding into 6th position is Soma, a philosophical sci-fi horror game from the creators of Amnesia that explores consciousness and identity in terrifying ways. Set in an underwater research facility after an extinction event, you play as Simon, who awakens to find the station populated by malfunctioning robots that believe they are human. The game asks profound questions about what defines humanity as you encounter these tragic beings and make choices about their fate. The horror comes more from existential dread and disturbing concepts than traditional jump scares, though there are plenty of tense encounters with hostile entities. The underwater setting is oppressively claustrophobic, with the constant threat of pressure failures and limited visibility creating baseline anxiety. Exploration reveals the facility's history through computer terminals, audio logs, and environmental storytelling that paints a picture of humanity's final days. The monster encounters require stealth and careful observation of patrol patterns to avoid detection. What makes Soma special is how it uses horror mechanics to reinforce its philosophical themes, making you question your own existence alongside Simon. The voice acting and writing are superb, creating believable characters whose recorded messages provide emotional weight to the abandoned environments. Multiple endings reflect the choices you make, though all paths lead to deeply unsettling conclusions about consciousness and survival. Taking the 7th spot is Little Nightmares 2, a cinematic puzzle platformer that creates horror through atmosphere and implied threats rather than explicit violence. You control Mono, a boy trapped in a nightmarish world of distorted reality, where everyday objects and environments become surreal threats. The game is a visual masterpiece, with its blend of stop-motion-inspired animation and disturbing character designs that feel like fever dreams. Puzzles are cleverly integrated into the environment, requiring observation and timing rather than complex mechanics. The chase sequences are heart-pounding as you flee from grotesque adults in scenarios that play on childhood fears. Your AI companion 6 adds emotional depth and assists with puzzles that require cooperation. The sense of scale is expertly used to make you feel vulnerable as you navigate environments designed for beings much larger than yourself. Each area presents a different nightmare scenario, from a creepy school to a hospital filled with mannequin patients. The sound design is minimalist but effective, using ambient noise and sudden audio cues to build tension. The story is told entirely through visuals and environmental clues, leaving interpretation open while clearly depicting a world gone horribly wrong. At number 8, we have Fear the Spotlight, a love letter to classic survival horror that captures the essence of PS1-era games while adding modern quality-of-life improvements. Set in a high school where 2 students perform a seance that goes catastrophically wrong, the game splits between past and present timelines. The low poly graphics and fixed camera angles are deliberately retro, but rendered with modern lighting techniques that create genuinely spooky atmosphere. Puzzles are logical and satisfying to solve without requiring obtuse moon logic that plagued older games. The story tackles themes of guilt, trauma, and supernatural consequences with surprising emotional depth for its short runtime.
Stealth sections require you to avoid a spectral entity that patrols the dark hallways, using only your flashlight and careful timing. The school setting is effectively creepy, with familiar locations twisted into something sinister through lighting and sound. Resource management is important, but not punishing, striking a good balance between challenge and accessibility. The dual protagonist structure provides different perspectives on the same events and reveals how past actions created the present nightmare. Voice acting is competent, and the writing avoids teen drama cliches in favor of genuine character development. Multiple endings reward exploration and different choices throughout the playthrough.
Coming in at number 9 is Chernobylite, a survival horror RPG that blends base building, crafting, and narrative choices in the radioactive exclusion zone. You play as a physicist returning to Chernobyl to search for your missing fiancé, while dealing with both human threats and supernatural phenomena. The game uses photogrammetry of actual Chernobyl locations, creating hauntingly authentic environments that contrast beautiful nature reclamation with industrial decay. Time loop mechanics let you replay missions with knowledge from previous attempts, though choices have lasting consequences on your team and story outcomes. Combat can be approached stealthily or aggressively, with a variety of weapons and gadgets you craft from scavenged materials. Base management adds strategic depth, as you build facilities, manage companion morale, and prepare for missions. The radiation and anomaly systems create environmental hazards that require careful navigation and equipment management. Companions have their own stories and can die permanently if you make poor decisions or fail to support them properly. The narrative explores both the historical disaster and fictional supernatural elements that emerge from the contaminated zone. Branching storylines mean multiple playthroughs reveal different aspects of the mystery and various endings based on your accumulated choices and team survival.
Rounding out our list at number 10 is the Mortuary Assistant, a unique horror game that puts you in the role of an embalmer working night shifts at a funeral home. The premise alone is unsettling, as you perform realistic mortuary procedures on corpses while supernatural events escalate around you. The embalming process is detailed and requires following specific steps, creating an uncomfortable intimacy with death that few games explore. Demonic possession is the core threat, as you must identify which corpse is possessed and perform the correct ritual to banish the entity before it takes you. Each playthrough randomizes which corpse is possessed and what clues reveal the demon's identity, ensuring high replayability. The scares range from subtle environmental changes to full confrontations with demonic manifestations. Your character, Rebecca, has a troubled past that intertwines with the supernatural events, revealed through found documents and visions. The funeral home setting is claustrophobic and filled with places where threats could lurk, making every trip to the basement or storage room tense. Time pressure comes from needing to complete embalming work while investigating paranormal activity before the demon fully manifests. The multiple endings depend on your success in identifying and banishing demons, with failure resulting in disturbing possession sequences. Procedural elements and unlockable story fragments encourage multiple playthroughs to understand the complete narrative.